Hey friends, welcome back to Chronically Overdressed. So we have been in our house for about 6 months, and I think it's time to finally give you a tour. What do you say? Want to check out my house? Hello and welcome to my home. So if you've been following me for any length of time, you'll know that back in November, we moved from Hawaii here to the Washington, D.C. area. And so it's been about 6 months since we've moved, and we've got all of our stuff unpacked finally, and stuff up on the walls, and we're starting to feel pretty settled. So I thought this would be a really good time to finally give you guys a tour of the house. So I'm literally just gonna walk through and show you everything room by room. So let's start with the living room. What do you think? Okay, well, here is the living room. As soon as you come in the door, you go to the right, and front door is right there. So the living room is like right off the front area. But I don't know about you, but whenever we move to a new place, it can be really difficult, when you go in and you try to figure out what the configuration is going to be with all of your furniture and everything. And we had the added element of extra furniture, I guess. We had a bunch of furniture that we had put in storage from Germany. In Germany, we had a pretty big house and we filled it. We absolutely filled it. So we had a bunch of stuff in storage that just didn't fit in our house in Hawaii. And so we've got a lot of those pieces back, which is really nice because they're a lot of pieces that I got from my parents when they passed away, and I'm just so glad that I have them. So one of those pieces is this bar, and I absolutely love it. I'm so glad that we have it back in the house. It isn't set up exactly the way that we would normally have it because it does have this really big canopy. But I really like how we've got it set up, and we've got it pushed against the wall because, again, space. But I'm just glad that we have it. So I really like our living room setup. I think it's pretty comfortable. We're still in the process of kind of changing out a few pieces that, eventually we're going to get a new couch. I'd really like to get away from some of the IKEA furniture and get nicer, sturdier, bigger pieces. So we're still working towards that, but I'm really comfortable, I think, with what we've got so far. One of my favorite things here in my living room is this amazing portrait that I found on Facebook Marketplace. If you saw any of my TikToks or my Instagram reels about this is Madame Buffy Dumplin', and I absolutely adore her, and she has a very, very prominent position here in our living room. Okay, so then from the living room, we come into the dining room. I'm sure you have seen this backdrop in some of my videos already. Again, it's a smaller space and we do have a lot of furniture, but it really works for us, and I'm able to have my grandfather clock finally. We had that in storage in Hawaii. It isn't working right now because there were some pieces that got broken, and I really want to have someone come out, a professional come out and really take a look at it and make sure everything is running correctly. But I have it, and the main aspects of it are still pretty good. And then we have our hutch here that has all of my dishware and everything that I got in Germany. And this is an IKEA piece, so I would eventually like to change this out for something more vintage, but it works for us for now. From the dining room, we come into the kitchen, and it's a really nice, bright space. It's a little bit smaller than I would like, and it doesn't have a ton of storage. But I was able to find this really fantastic Hoosier on Facebook Marketplace a couple of months ago. And it's from the 1930s. The woman that I bought it from, she did paint it. She cleaned it up and painted it, but it is from the 1930s, and it's wonderful. I absolutely love it. I think it's beautiful. And yeah, it was, we drove, it was like a 6-hour round trip to go pick this thing up, but I'm really happy we have it. And yeah, it works out really well. And then this space in particular is just, it was kind of weird. We really didn't know what to do with it. It's not really big enough for like a breakfast table, maybe like a bistro table, but when we had Harriet, when we had our dogs, we needed this space to be open so she could go in and out of the sliding glass door. So we just left it open, but I hated just the tile. And so I found this wonderful vinyl mat online, and I'm so in love with it, and I really want to get a couple of more, like for the bathroom and for other spots here in the kitchen. But it's absolutely gorgeous and I love it. I'll put the link in the description for you for where you can find one if you want one for yourself. But I really like it. And then of course we have to have our baguette box, and you know, it's one of my favorite pieces. I've shared it with you guys before, and I'm just so glad that it was able to fit in here. We do have a little bit of storage here that goes under the stairs, and this nice little hallway here, and we have a half bath down here, which is really nice. And of course this just kind of connects around to the front door again, and then we go into my study. This was the room that I was most excited about. This is my office, this is my study, this is where I spend a lot of my day. This is where the magic happens for YouTube and all of my Instagram reels and TikToks. And I just absolutely loved the kind of the bones of this room already. The flooring is dark, the bookcases are dark. I've got these beautiful dark beams up here, and I really wanted this to be my kind of dark botanical oasis of sorts. And so I did paint one wall green, and I'm just so happy with it. I got a new rug, and this room just makes me so happy. I do have a fireplace, but it doesn't work, unfortunately, or at least the landlords don't want us to use it, I think. I don't think they've had it serviced, so it definitely works. Like, you can feel the cold air coming in during the winter time. But it's okay because, you know, I can just use the mantle and just set up some nice decor. But I absolutely love this room. I'm super, super happy with how it turned out, and I love my gallery walls, and yeah, I just love it. All right, so from here we will head on upstairs. Okay, so here is our primary bedroom, It's a good size. I'm really happy with it. We were able to get a new bed when we moved in. We had been desperately wanting a king size bed. Both my husband and I are big people, so king size bed, definitely necessary, and it's amazing. I love it. But yeah, it's, it's a really good size room. We're really happy with it. Got nice, windows. We get a lot of nice light in here, and yeah, it's just really comfortable. So down the hall, we have our guest room. And this is the smallest room in the house, but it works so well for a guest room. And we've already had our first guest. We had Will's mom come stay with us for a week, and yeah, it was really lovely. And I really like the color that this color was on the walls when we moved in, so I left it. I liked it, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. And there's a full bath right across the hall from the guest room, which is really nice. And then we'll go down here. This is my studio, going to be my studio. It still needs some work. I've cleaned it up pretty substantially, but it definitely needs more work. I need to put some stuff on the walls and just decorate it a little bit more. And yes, all of those are going to be sold on Poshmark as soon as I get my budding gear to actually do it. But I do have my little kind of sewing table here. I hadn't really been doing much in here because this was kind of the catch-all room. But I wanted to clean it up for you guys a little bit, and hopefully I'll be doing some more. I do want to repaint. I am not happy with this color, but because it's on all of the walls, it's so daunting. But one of these days, I'm sure I'll get to it. But on to the next room. Okay, so this room you guys should be familiar with by now. But if you've not seen my dressing room, I will link here for my full dressing room tour. But this is all the way down at the end of the hall from my bedroom. But it's one of the bigger rooms, and I really liked the way it was configured. And yeah, it just works for me. It's right next door to my studio, and I just love it. It's my little oasis. But I do encourage you to check out the full video, because I talk about how I put it together, what the IKEA wardrobes are like, and yeah, I just give a little bit more information. So let's head downstairs and I'll show you the backyard. This is our backyard. It is actually a really good size. It's got the whole side. We're kind of on a corner in our neighborhood, so we have a good side yard, nice big backyard. It's pretty flat. Everybody else kind of has a deck that goes out because it slopes down, so I'm pretty happy with it. Harriet loved it when she was here, and we haven't really done anything with it yet, but we've been really focused on getting the house taken care of before we start doing anything in the yard. But yeah, it's a nice little yard. I'm happy with it, and hopefully we'll get some planting done and get some nice flowers and everything back here. Well, thank you so much for joining me on my house tour, and I'm sure you'll be seeing all of these backdrops on some of my videos to come. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!